Well, hello there, my name is Vladimir, welcome to my home studio. Today we are checking out the BOSS Nextone Stage. By the way, please excuse my voice, I've been through a pretty bad flu lately, and as you can hear, my voice isn't 100% yet. But because I need to return this thing to the store, I just had to shoot this video, and yeah, that's about it really. The BOSS Nextone or Next One, they have this clever wordplay going on. It's a 2-channel amp, and it's basically a clean channel and a drive channel. And what makes this amp interesting is the fact that it has 4 different kind of output stages. Basically there's the EL34s, EL84s, 6 L6s and 6 V6s, which you can change with this switch over here. When switching between 4 different power amp selections, the amp apparently rebiases itself and does some voodoo magic, because it does feel different to play with all 4 different power stages. By the way, all the amp sounds are actually analog, and they're using something called tube logic, which is a term for whatever technology they're going for. I don't really care about how it's made, basically. All I care about is how does it sound and how does it feel to play. The Nextone Stage is the smaller brother in the Nextone family. It has a single BOSS labeled 12-inch speaker. It has a kind of semi-open back or mostly open back cabinet. It feels really sturdy. And it has this nice kind of classic look. I'll add some kind of flyover shots, I think they're called. You should be seeing them right now. Kind of a vintage inspired look, and it feels sturdy, and it's not exactly light either. It has this kind of convincing weight to it without being too heavy. On the back side it has a phone/recording out, there's a line out, there's an effects loop, and then there's the USB port. You can connect this to your Mac or PC and use the Nextone app to do a bunch of stuff that you can do from the control panel of the amp itself. And then there's the 2 inputs which allow you to select the channel, engage the boost, and also disengage or engage the delay. The amp doesn't ship with its own foot switch, but that's something apparently a lot of companies do, and it's a shame because having a foot switch to control all those things would just add a bunch of kind of usability value, especially in live situations. On the top side there's the guitar input, the channel selection switch, a boost switch which kind of feels a bit silly because it's such a small button. Then there's the same for the tone, which is basically kind of the treble boost. And then there's a single volume for the clean channel, there's a gain volume for the lead channel, and there's a shared EQ for both of the channels. Then there's the effects section. You can engage or disengage the delay, and I'm not sure if that camera will pick it up, but here is a, yeah, you can see the blinking light. You can tap in your tempo from here if you want to. This basically adjusts the level of the delay, and there's a single control for the reverb as well. Then there's the global presence control and a master control, which is nice. Then there's the 4 different power amp selections, as I mentioned, and a kind of power control switch. This is at 40 watts. I think this amp is at 40 watts. The bigger one, Nextone Artist, I think goes to 80 watts. So 40 watts, 20 watts, 0.5 watt, and this will actually kind of mute the whole thing. So you can use this both on stage and at home, which is really convenient. Alright, let's go into the sounds. I'm using my telly, and I'm miking the amp with the single Shure SM7B. And we'll start with the clean channel with everything off, basically, and by everything I mean the kind of delays and reverbs and such, sounds like this. Let's start adding some stuff, and as you notice I'm actually driving the clean channel a little bit. It still doesn't distort, but you can feel it kind of getting a little bit more gritty, I guess, for lack of a better word. Gritty? That's how my voice works right now. Yay! Let's check out the boost. tone. The overall sound is a bit kind of round and fat, and you can do a lot with the EQ as well. I like the fact that even the extreme settings on the bass knob are still usable. The middle. Nice. Treble. Okay, it's not rounded anymore. Nice. Let's bring in a little bit of reverb. Nice, so let's check out the most extreme setting on this. Let's back that down and delay. Again, the most extreme setting. That was beautiful. Really beautiful. As you can hear, both the delay and reverb are really usable on pretty much all of the settings, and yeah, I just like how they sound. They're like a nice addition to this amp. Let's quickly check the presence control all the way down. Adds a bunch of that high end, but with this guitar you don't really need that, so we'll keep it somewhere around here. And that's how you switch keys, by going from one chord to a completely different lead thing. Alright, the drive channel, I'll be on the bridge pickup of this guitar. First of all, pretty much the same controls we had on the clean channel, sounds like this. Right now it sounds a little bit too bright on the drive channel, so I want to see whether it will save the EQ controls on this. Nope, it won't. And that's a bit of a problem, because if I set up the clean channel like this, right now, it's a bit too bright. And then I switch to the lead channel. There's a really harsh top end going on now, and yeah. So the balance between the two channels, you'll probably have to work on that a little bit. Maybe it will be a slight compromise between the two, EQ wise that is. Alright, maybe this isn't the ideal rock amp, but anyway, I feel this is aimed more to kind of a blues guitar player anyway, so it does okay crunch, but nothing amazing to me, at least, to be honest. The amp feels really nice and responsive when on the drive channel. By just changing the kind of picking strength, you can get cleans. So whatever that tube logic thing means, I don't care. It works like you would expect a tube amp to work. Maybe it's not as responsive as some of the higher quality tube amps, like the Rev Dynamis over there, for example. But this is like a quarter of the price, so I'm ready to forgive this thing for not being exactly as good as that one. Let's quickly check the boost and tone controls on the lead channel as well. Again, sounds pretty good. What you're probably really interested in is how this power amp selection thing works, or does it make a difference in the sound? Let's try out. Here's the EL34. Not only it sounds different, but there's a definite change in feel between all the four different power selections, power amp selections. I still don't know how to call it, power amp selections. Let's go with that one for the rest of the video. Yeah, it feels different to play and it sounds different, and that's a nice option to have. I don't know if this is something... I just hit my watch. Well done. Personally, based on my time with the amp, the power amp section is nice, but it's not something that would make me buy the amp. While there are differences, it's not like super drastic that it would make me buy the amp because you can get like crazy amount of tones from this. They're just slight variations of the same thing basically. Because this amp reminds me a lot of the Blues Cube Boss used to sell, or maybe are still selling, and that seemed to be a really nice pedal platform. We are going to put these two into the front end of the amp and see how they work. This is the Caline Pure Sky Overdrive and the Rev G3, so two very different overdrives slash distortions. Let's see how they work. Alright, I've plugged the pedals in and we'll start with the Pure Sky Overdrive. I'm on the clean channel. Let me increase the gain just a bit. Unnecessary show-off thing that I did badly. Yay again! And then the Rev G3. And that concludes my demo slash review slash first impressions thing with the BOSS Nextone Stage. I'm going to skip the part where you can plug this into a computer. Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater did a nice demo of that part of the amp as well. But to me it doesn't really bring that much additional value to the amp, to be honest. Yeah, you could add some boosts and stuff like that, but nothing too amazing, to be honest, or nothing that excites me, let's put it that way, because maybe the fact that you can change the type of boost you can have in the amp is exactly what you want with this thing. So yeah, just my personal opinion. Overall, I think this amp is okay. I really like the sounds from the clean channel, especially paired with the delay and reverb, and I'm not a huge fan of the lead channel. It's fine, but nothing exciting to me, at least. I wouldn't see myself using that much. I would probably use some overdrives in front of the amp instead, and it takes them really well, so that's not an issue. Overall, I find this amp is made for kind of vintage-oriented players, for lack of a better word, and it makes an interesting question: what would make the guy who loves, let's say, Telecasters, Les Paul, Strats, and a nice clean or slightly overdriven tube amp, what would make that person buy this amp? And my answer is, I don't know, because for the same money you can get a new Blues Junior. For almost the same money as this, you can get a used Hot Rod Deluxe as well, which is a really good amp as well, and there's probably some other amps as well that I'm forgetting. Again, it's a nice amp, but I'm not sure who it's meant for. As I said, the power amp selection thing is cool, but it's not something that would make me buy the amp. It doesn't make that big a difference to me, at least. To wrap up, good build quality, great clean channel, decent, okay, slightly disappointing lead channel. The power amp selection thing is nice. The weight, the size, everything kind of screams quality. BOSS just makes stuff that's built to last, and this is no exception to that. I think this is one of those amps where you need to go and try it yourself, and then you will either fall in love with it or you will not. I don't recommend you ordering this amp online without trying it, because you might be in for a big disappointment. On the other hand, you might be in for a great surprise as well. I don't know, maybe just don't listen to me. I don't have any voice left anyway, so I need to stop talking pretty soon. Good content again. Overall, I think it's a nice amp. Maybe I'm just not the target audience for it or something like that. Again, go and try it yourself, because I'm pretty sure the lead channel will kind of divide people. Some will love it, some will hate it. So yeah, go and try it before buying it. And that concludes my demo review thing of the BOSS Nextone Stage. And if you like this video, found it helpful, entertaining, or anything like that, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. If you want to support what I do and celebrate my upcoming 30th birthday with me, go get yourself a limited edition Catpic Studios t-shirt, available only until December 12th, 2018, and then they will be gone forever. So go get yours now. Thanks to Tampere Musiikki for providing the amp for me once again. If you shop there, please mention Catpic Studios for special gifts, special discounts, and so on. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell as well. And I thank you for watching. I shall see you next time. Great voice.